Hello and welcome back, guys. In this video to talk about inheritance. In previous video I talk about what exactly inheritance was, and in this video I talk about its types. So we will be covering the first topic after this video. Okay, so just to get the overview of what we have learned in the previous, I have just written the syntax that how exactly we write inheritance. It is just the base class and the derived class and the relation between them. Okay, the relation between the classes, when we talk about inheritance, it is a relationship. We have discussed all the thing, how what is polymorphism. We have also discussed what exactly is method overriding is. You can go check that out in the I button. Okay, so just to revise, inheritance is, this is how we write. Okay, we have a base class, the parent class, and then we have a child class, that's the derived class. And how do we access the parent class? By passing as an argument. Okay, and then it is very much important to invoke the class in the base class. Okay, so that is also important. So let's move forward. So when we talk about types of inheritance, we have specific five types of inheritance, as single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. These are the five types of inheritance. We'll go through one by one in this video. So the first we have is single inheritance. So I'm not going to go through interactive shell. I want you to comment the output down below. Okay, I'll tell you the output also, but yes, still you're going to comment down the output what you think. So first of all, we have single inheritance. This is how we represent single inheritance. Single inheritance is like the syntax which I have discussed in this. Okay, because this is the parent class which is taking the properties of this base class. Okay, so this exactly what is a single inheritance is. It enables a derived class to inherit a property from a single parent. So we have a single parent, and this single parent has a single child. So this is single inheritance. Okay, it enables code reusability and addition of new features to existing code, and we add a new feature to existing code in this particular type of inheritance. You can see in this following example, we have a parent child, and we have a parent class and we have a child class. Child is inheriting the properties of parent, but we are also adding few few elements to it. Like we have function 1 in parent, and we have function 2 in child. If you see the main program, we are not at all calling the parent child. Okay, via the child class only, or the derived class only, we are assessing the second, that is assessing the first function func1. Okay, so what you can see, the output will be, we have first of all created an object for the derived class. Okay, so we are going to assess the parent class using this derived class. This is very much important. Okay, then we have created an object, then we have to assess the function, to assess the method inside the class. What we use is dot operator. Okay, we use a dot operator, and we write the method name that we want to access. Okay, so we have function 1. This is going to print like this function is in parent class, and then we have this function is in child class. Okay, so this is very much simple. This is what exactly single inheritance is. Then we have multiple inheritance. What you can see from the diagram, let us study it first. What we have is, we have multiple parent, or we have two parent, and from this parent we have a child. So from the two base classes we have a derived class. Okay, a single derived class. So when a class can be derived from more than one base class, so this is more than one. It can be 2, it can be thrice, it can be 4 also. Okay, more than one base classes, this type of inheritance called as multiple inheritance. So when we have multiple parents, when we have multiple base classes, and we're deriving a single child or single derived class from it. Okay, so that is multiple inheritance. All the features of the base class are inherited into the derived class. Of course, it is an inheritance. Okay, so how do we, but the question over here is, how do we have the arguments for the class C? We're going to call both classes, class A as well as class B. Is that clear? So when we have a multiple inheritance, the child class is going to have multiple arguments. Yes, that is class A and class B. Also, let's take an example. Here, as I told you, I'm just going to be on the slides. I'm going to go through the IDLE and stuff. So we have the first base class, we have the second base class, and then we have the derived class. Okay, what we have is, we have mother, we have father, and we have son. Okay, so we are taking the mother's name then we are writing the name of the mother. Then we are taking the father's name and we are writing the father's name. Then from in son class, we are writing the father's name, we are printing the father's name and the mother's name in the parent class. Okay, so this self.father name and self.mother name is going to get inherited from these two base classes. This is very much important that we have two base classes, and these two base classes are inheriting this derived class, that is son. So this is an example where father name is Chandler, mother's name is Monica, and then we are printing the name. Father's name is Chandler, and Monica is the mother's name. So this is very basic example which I have taken. I'll give you an assignment or an supplementary questions where you will be solving the things when we go forward. Okay, so this is what exactly multiple inheritance. We have multiple parents, and then we have a single offspring or a single child. Yes, moving forward, then we have multiple inheritance. So this is the change, like we have in multiple inheritance, we're going to have in multi-level inheritance, what we have is 3 levels. Like we have a base class, then we have intermediary class, and then we have a derived class. In multi-level inheritance, features of the base class and the derived class are further inherited into new derived class. Okay, the features of the base class and the derived class are further inherited into a new derived class, similar to the relation of child and grandfather. Consider this as grandfather and this as you as a child. Okay, you have you both are related, but in between you have your father. Okay, so this is your father is an intermediary class, but the base class is your grandfather, as well as the derived class is you. Okay, so this is also a relation of multi-level inheritance. Moving forward, this is a big example, taking same concept of grandfather, father and son. Just we're going to print the name of grandfather, father and son. One thing again I would like to remind it to you that you need to invoke the classes also. Okay, so you need to show that yes, I'm going to use grandfather over here. Okay, so we have grandfather, the base class. The father is inheriting the grandfather and son is inheriting the father. Okay, you get it? This is important. The grandfather is inherited by the father and father is inherited by the son. So we have grandfather as the base class, father as intermediate class, and son as derived class. Study this program and comment on the output, like what exactly output I'm get. So to tell you, output will be grandfather. We have self.grandfather. So whatever we have input over here, see over here, son, in son we have 3 arguments like Ben, Ross and Jack. Okay, so one by one all these 3 will be printed. Like we will have grandfather as Jack, then father as Ross, and Ben as son as Ben. Okay, check this out. I think there's an error or suppose. Okay, if it is, then I'll be telling you in the comment section, or if you found an error, tell me in the comment section, because I guess the sequence over here is incorrect or something like that. Okay, so this is the concept is important that you understand. Like we have intermediary class and extra class over here, which gives the relation between a base class and a derived class. Similar, see, understand this multi-level inheritance as a grandfather and a son relationship, where we have father in between as an intermediate class. Okay, moving forward to hierarchical inheritance. So you can see over here normal flow chart, that is an hierarchical, where we have a single parent and then we have multiple offsprings. Yes, when more than one derived classes are created. Okay, more than one derived classes are created from a single base class, and this type of inheritance is called as multiple inheritance. That is when we have a single parent but we have multiple offsprings or multiple child classes, multiple derived classes, then we have hierarchical inheritance. Now when we talk about program, this is it. Like we have a base class, that is mother, and that is having 2 derived classes. For an example, that is child 1 and child 2. Okay, and then simply we are just calling child 1 and child 2, because yes, we need to call both the classes, because these 2 classes not having any relation except that they are related to A. Yes. Okay, whenever I'm calling child A, it means that I'm calling the parent class. Whenever I'm calling the child T, creating an object for child 2, that means I'm calling the parent class over here also. Okay, and then I'm just object 1, object 2, object 1, object 2. Okay, is it clear? So we have what it is exactly going to get printed. We have first of all function 1 from child 1. So from child 1 we're going to call function 1. So this function is in the child 1 and this function is in parent class. Okay, like this we're going to get some sort of statements get printed. I guess 4 statement will be printed one by one. So just try it out and tell in the comment section what exact output you get. Then we have another type of inheritance, that is hybrid inheritance. So hybrid is nothing but hybrid of the mixture of all the types of inheritance that we have studied till now. The single inheritance, the multiple inheritance, the multi-level inheritance, okay, hierarchical and everything. So what we have is in hybrid inheritance, and inheritance is everything that we have studied till now. Okay, so what is hybrid inheritance? We have multiple types of inheritances in this. So you can take the example over here that we have a school, the main, the derived, the base class. Then the student 1 is inherited from school. Student 2 is also inherited from school, but the student 3 is inherited from student 1 and the school. Okay, there's a relation between these and this. If I am able to write, I guess, let me understand this by laser. The student class 3 is inherited from student 1 and school. It's very simple because we have had an argument over here that student 1 and school are related with student 3. Okay, draw the flow chart and try to understand it. Okay, and then we have just printed few functions. Is that clear? We have created an object of student 3 and we are just saying to print function 1 and function 2 because student 3 is only related to function 1 and function 2. We cannot access function 3 using just a single object of student 3. If you do understand what I mean to say. Is it clear? We will not be able to access function 3 via an object of function student 3 because student 3 and student 2 are not directly related to each other. Okay, because student 3 is just related to student 1 in school, if it is clear. Okay, so this is just for inheritance. These are few types of inheritances which I have discussed. Just let us revise a bit. Okay. Oops. Then we have single inheritance. So single inheritance, directly we are inheriting the property of base class, right? Base class property is inherited to the derived class. Then we have multiple inheritance where we have multiple parents, and these multiple parents are these multiple parents are related to a single offspring, single child. Then we have multi-level where we have introduced one more class, that is intermediary class, which is creating the relation between the grandparent and a child. Okay, understand the multi-level as grandparent and a child relationship. Okay, then we have hierarchical. Hierarchical is nothing but when we have a single parent and that single parent is having multiple offsprings or multiple child. And then we have final, the hybrid, where we have mixture of all the three. Draw the diagram, try to draw the diagram like this, the flow chart diagram in this way of hybrid inheritance of this particular example. Okay, so this is it for this video. In the next video, I think I will be discussing about method overriding and stuff like that. Okay, you can check out in the timestamps or the description what we're going to discuss next. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Subscribe so that you get updated when I upload a video. You can check out the DSA course which I have prepared, or the the timeline or the content which you should study to be good at DSA. You can visit my blogspot, eatsleepcoderepeat.blogspot.com. Feedback is appreciated, and thanks for watching.